Hi, welcome to Mission 919, my channel devoted to information and narratives of African achievement, well-being, and prosperity. Today I want to talk about three things that have happened in the last few days. One, Cardi B, the famous rapper from originally from the Dominican Republic, but now in the United States, performed both in Accra and in Lagos. And in Lagos, there are many YouTube clips, some from her, some from other broadcasts that have been put on YouTube, showing her performing in Lagos, walking the streets, malls, enjoying the nightlife, and talking about how much she was impressed by Lagos and by Nigeria in general. And I think this is important because there's a whole bunch of people, whole layers of people who, for whom what Cardi B says resonates. They listen to it. They are influenced by it. Her walking the streets of Lagos and talking about her positive experiences there is worth millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in, say, advertising for tourism by, say, the Nigerian government. I mean, it's almost priceless, I would say. So there's a whole bunch of whole layers of people, probably in their millions, who have their minds opened or changed by Cardi B's opinions and experiences in Nigeria and in Lagos in particular. And so I think this is just I believe that Lagos is already probably among the, a second tier of world cities, and will increase in stature more and more as the years go by. Along with Johannesburg right now, is probably, and Accra perhaps. Perhaps there's one or two other cities like Dakar, but it's certainly one of the most important cities internationally on the African continent. Second story, a couple days ago, the Miss Universe pageant was won by Zozibini Tunzi from South Africa. She's the first, the first African woman to win since a woman from Angola won in 2011. And she's quite an impressive person, very poised, very graceful, very thoughtful in her answers. She's interested in combating gender-based violence. She talks about girls and women taking up space in society, making sure that their voices are heard and becoming leaders. She's quite an impressive person, and I think while I'm not someone who, I have definite questions, to say the least, about the nature of quote unquote beauty pageants, but I think you have to when you're presented with something positive and something a person who's impressive like Zozibini Tunzi, I think you have to acknowledge that whatever your biases or prejudices or preconceived notions about beauty pageants may be. I noticed reading some of the bios of some of the other contestants, there are a lot of very impressive figures, women, in that contest. Miss USA is also an African-American woman, as a lawyer. Miss Ireland, who is a black woman, I think biracial woman, is a highly recognized engineer. I think she works for NASA or works with a company that works for NASA. Anyways, it's very impressive. Anyway, I'm sure there are many others. I didn't look at that many of the bios, but those are the ones I did notice. I think that also the fact that she wore her hair in a natural style is also very important, very useful, very positive as an image to be broadcast around the world. And the third event is the awarding of the Nobel Peace Prize to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed Ali. He accepted his award, I believe it was yesterday, in Oslo, Norway, and he won the award for establishing a permanent peace between his country and Eritrea, which had been in conflict for decades and fought a war about 20 years ago, thereabouts, that cost 100,000 lives, and there's been tension ever since. Eritrea has been on a war footing, essentially. So they established a permanent borders, a permanent peace, open transportation links between the two countries. Very important. He's also freed a lot of political prisoners. Now, there's a lot of instability in Ethiopia. He is a very interesting individual. He has a PhD. He's been in the army. So he has a tremendous amount of experiences in all kinds of fields. And he's had to deal with an attempted coup in one of the states, in Amhara state. There was an assassination attempt. There were a bunch of soldiers that basically burst into his office, and with probably treason on their mind, he stared them down. The man has tremendous physical courage, and I would say moral courage and political courage. And I think everyone in the continent and beyond should wish him all the best in his challenges to bring peace and stability and growing prosperity to Ethiopia. They're still building the Great Renaissance Dam, which will increase the availability of electricity in the country. They're opening up all kinds of manufacturing plants. So hopefully they're able to have an election that's relatively peaceful and seen as free and fair, and Ethiopia will experience greater unity and greater prosperity. So I think if you take all these things together, Cardi B presenting Lagos in a very positive and in a light that you don't often see, especially in the West. The sister from South Africa winning Miss Universe, and Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed winning the Nobel Prize just in the last 5 days. That's 3 very good stories coming out of West Africa, Southern Africa, and East Africa. And so these things need to be noted and celebrated. So in the name of the ancestors and the unborn who are the same, Ashe, 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 and we'll see you soon.